Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get into the video. I always wonder why black people always have to be involved in so many things, even when it's unnecessary. Other races just can't let a black person be. So here we are minding our own business, only for this palm color man to involve black people in what he is saying. Now, I don't know why these people think that black people are that protected. In this video, you will hear this man saying that if black people or African Americans were the ones held hostage, there wouldn't be a single person calling for a ceasefire, but there would have been a demand from black people that they should come back. Let me not bore you with a lot of words because I feel you need to hear this for yourselves from the host's mouth. So I am just going to play this video clip so that you get it from this man himself. Here's the clip.
Yo, if 20 American tourists, 20 American tourists, forget the 1,200 people that were murdered, slaughtered, civilians. If 20 American civilians, all African American, all black, all ages, were taken hostage, and 10 of them were murdered and raped, and there was 10 surviving American tourist hostages that were all black. There's not one motherfucker in this country that would be talking about ceasefire. There's not one person. It would be bring the fucking hostages back, and they better be alive. They better be pristine. There wouldn't be no ceasefire. There would be no round. Can you imagine college students ripping down posters of 10 black people from America if they were taken hostage and 10 others were raped and murdered? Nobody would be saying shit. The African American community would be demanding they came back. White people, black people, Jewish people would be demanding they come back. There wouldn't be a discussion of a ceasefire. That's a fact. Nobody can tell me shit that is not a fucking fact. Forget the 1,200 other people that were murdered. I'm talking about just 10. I don't compare tragedies, 9/11 versus the Oklahoma City bombing versus this, that, and the third. If it was just 10 African American people, they would be demanding, everybody would be demanding, get them back, get them back, get them back. The word ceasefire wouldn't be in the vernacular. It'd be like, ravage the place until they come back, and they better come back safe and sound.
Now, anything happening around has to somehow get black people involved in one way or the other. I don't know how, I don't know why, but that's how it is. There's always that comparison between black people and people of other races. If it was black people this, it would have been that. Honestly, I'm sick and tired, but let's check out these teachers and hear how people took and reacted to this video.
All black.
I recommend going back and watching that entire rant. It is becoming so obvious that capitalism and white supremacy are losing the propaganda war. And because the survival of white supremacy depends on the survival of capitalism, we are seeing white panic in a way that we've never really seen before. And we are just witnessing the most classic tropes of capitalism and white supremacy in real fucking time. Language like this is literally meant to villainize and isolate the black community so that we do not have the opportunity to create a multi-racial, multi-generational, multi-denominational, multi-ethnic coalition of change. Because capitalism and white supremacy has never, ever benefited from people building community.
I've made this request before, and I'm making it again. Whatever issue your community is dealing with, whatever the humanitarian crisis, the social issue, please don't compare it to the black experience. Please don't compare it to what if it was black people. I don't know why this continues to happen. I've seen it used in the trans debate. I've seen it used in the debate with little people. I've seen it used with undocumented immigrants. Please make your arguments stand on its own legs. There should be an articulation of how your point stands on your own legs without comparing it to black people. Please, we have enough we're dealing with. What do y'all think?
Hey, yo, Michael Rappaport, shut the fuck up. They had nothing to do with us, man. Man, that's a stupid scenario to bring up. You know our history? You know, these people who claim to be black allies are the first people to throw black people under the bus and use black people for their own personal gains and shit. See, when the Black Lives Matter thing was going on, right? Save Black People's posters were being torn down. Did you say something about that? Black people, we gotta watch out for some of these people who claim to be our allies, because they'll be doing shit like this.
Tourists.
What was the point of making this video? I mean, you have a right to be outraged about what's going on, but what are you doing about it? This is why I say to you so-called white allies, do not use that word ally when it comes to, listening to the black voices of black people in the black community. Because when it's time to show how much of an ally you are, you literally show us what kind of person you are. And that is exactly, and this is why I say watch out for the so-called white allies you call allies to the black community. Like, do better. Like, this is pathetic. You could have literally just addressed this another way, but instead you decided to bring black people into this for no reason.
Cease fire.
Hey, Mike, so two things. I know you're saying that if black people got kidnapped and taken hostage, nobody would be talking about a ceasefire. You might be right about that. Nobody would be talking about it at all. Black people go missing in this country every single day and are taken hostage every single day, and no one does anything. You picked the worst demographic of people in this country to make an argument about leave us out of this. We ain't talking to you. Don't talk to us. And two, this is a big one. Didn't we show you in like 2017, 2018 that nobody likes it when you talk? Didn't we figure out in like before the pandemic that everybody hates it when you share your opinion? Like, I thought we figured that out. I thought no one likes it when you share what you think. Stop, bro. Like, 5 years later, you still telling us the things you think, and we never like it. We never.
All ages.
Is this a safe space? Like, can I talk my shit real quick? Now, if you follow me on other social media, you know that I've been very vocal about this entire topic, mostly on Twitter and Instagram, because I feel like that's where majority of my followers have the most face-to-face communication with me, if that makes sense. It's just more personal. But I saw this video on Twitter and I was gobsmacked. And I shared my words, but I need to vocalize them. I need to get it out. Why is it that you are unable to exclaim and to express the rightful need for Israeli hostages to be released safely without hypothesizing violence against black people? How did we end up in it? How do we always end up in it? Some way, somehow, you have to find a way, and I've seen this a lot. I have seen this a lot across the board, across social media, throwing black people, throwing LGBTQIA plus people into the conversation and I feel that we have lost the plot, I fear. There has to be a way to express the need for one thing without dragging in another thing and making it painful and harmful. Being loud, wrong, and offensive is not going to garner you minority support. And making up hypothetical instances where violence would be inflicted upon us as if that shit doesn't happen every single day already. Like, what are we really talking about? What are we really talking about? Because if you want to talk about people going missing and being murdered, and these things happen to black people often, actually every single day.
There will be no hate speech of any kind, regardless of how passionate and how justified you feel allowed in this space. Will not happen. Okay? Okay. Cool. Now that we've got that clear, sir, Mr. Rappaport, I am concerned and a bit bothered that you are unable to make a point about your cause without creating a hypothetical scenario that involves the harm of Black people and the harm to Black bodies. And I have to assume that you are creating this hypothetical situation because you feel that like, oh, I need to give them something to think of. Like, how else will we understand what it's like? How else will we understand? Which is just like, do you realize how insane you sound? And completely lacking in any kind of awareness whatsoever. Black people don't have to imagine what it is like to live in a country where you're harassed and terrorized and at the threat of physical violence on the freaking daily. That is our life. That is what we experience every single day. We don't have to imagine if 10 Black people were taken hostage, because millions were taken hostage in this little thing called the transatlantic slave trade. I don't know. Have you heard of it? Millions capped and taken hostage, and did nobody come to save us? If anybody wants to come into my comments talking about good old Abe, you can stop, okay? Because Abraham Lincoln didn't give two shits about Black people, okay? So read a book, get some understanding, gain some knowledge before you come in here sounding crazy, okay? Because the man has literally been quoted as saying, listen, if I could save the country and keep the Black people enslaved, I would. Or if I could save the country and like just send them somewhere else, I would. But guess we gotta go with the worst case scenario, which is free them all. Also, this is very much so a hypothetical situation because I'm trying to understand, like, what United States would literally drop everything and be enraged to save people who were taken hostage by the KKK. Like, let's be for real. Let's tell the truth now. Let's tell the truth, okay? And don't even talk about the millions of people who showed out for the BLM protests in 2020. Like, first of all, so many of you that was performative. For so many others of you, it was the first time you realized that racism was still a thing. And for most of you, your activism has quickly died off since. Proven in this post that you are even doing this as what, some type of way to like rage farm and like use scare tactics to like get Black people to be on your side. Like, this is not the way to do this. I do not understand why, even hypothetically, why?
Now, I honestly disagree, and I don't think it works like that. I am just trying to figure out if we are protected, like if Black people are protected. Then why is it that every time a Black person gets unalived, Black people have to do a Black Lives Matter movement or rally? Is it just me, or somehow there is All Lives Matter rally, which is trying to erase the fact that Black Lives Matter? When honestly, what Black people are just trying to do by marching is to say that our lives matter too. I feel this man should get Black people out of his mouth, because what is shocking to me right now is how a palm color man can come on the internet and make a statement like this one. Now, if Black people were held hostage and kidnapped, when that is already happening in this country, and Black people have been kidnapped, held hostage, raped, blazed, and sunk under the water, what is he saying? I feel what he's trying to do is suggest and make excuse on how Israel is responding based on October 7th. Now, thinking that America would have reacted differently if it was Black people really sounds crazy. Why? Because Black can't or ain't that important to them. So please let this man keep whatever he has to say to himself. I don't even know why he would think of such a thing to start with, but the scenario he's thinking of is unlikely to happen for many reasons. But mostly importantly, Black people have always advocated for Palestine in America since the 60s. But before that, since the 60s, there are little clips that have gone viral online of Black people talking about being pro-Palestine. Now, Michael Rappaport has been a problem for a while now, and this was just one of those of his videos. You just have to say, nah. Now, these are basically my thoughts on this, but let's check out what people had to say in the comment section. Here are a few of them. This one says they are grabbing at straws because they know they have absolutely no justification. The more he talks, the more he becomes the character he played in Higher Learning. I wish he would leave us alone. His whole personality is trying to relate to black people. They're doing this while neglecting the fact that there are Afro-Palestinians there. Do they care about these people? Of course not. I don't know why we're being dragged into this when we have our own trauma. It's an attempt at triangulation, trying to incite division instead of focusing on the humanity of Palestinians. Now, this is how the comment section looks like, and I just want to say that he mentioned of America treating this differently if it was black people. But come on, how many things have black people gone through and still go through without them not caring about black people he is talking about? Now, let's talk about the unalivings that happen in America. Do they do anything about, apart from wanting to sweep a suspicious incident under the rug? It is black people that stand up for black people by protesting, having rallies, which even led to the Black Lives movement. So I don't see what he's talking about, really. Talk of the discrimination that is still happening to African Americans, the segregation, the racial stereotyping, the racism, all that. Who talks about all these things if not the same black people who are affected? Now that all of this is happening, he wants to involve black people in it. Please, I feel the black community needs to rest. The black community needs rest. It's really been and still is rough. Black people are still fighting battles that they hope to win someday, and honestly, we just need to be left alone now, because these people don't even care about black people. You guys don't care, so what's with the involvement of black people every time palm color people want to justify their actions? Honestly, I feel this man wasn't supposed to make this video to start with. He wasn't also supposed to say whatever he was saying in that video, because it's crazy. I don't know what he was talking about. But we have come to the end of the video, so kindly share your thoughts on what you think about his video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like.